Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone. Can you hear me? Hey, hello. Am I audible? Yes. I would need you to turn on your camera, indicating that you are actively participating in this meeting. I will mark your attendance based on the video camera that is turning on the screen on my display. Okay. Only the ones that turning on the camera will be marked as attending this meeting. If you have any technical difficulty, problems turning on your camera, please let me know on the meeting chat. You do not need to reply. I'm just gonna confirm. Uh, Once I clicked your attendance, I say your name. I call your name, but it's not necessary for you to respond back. So I saw Muiz. Good. Good. Thank you, Muiz. Luca is there. Good. Sunny. Good. Kinar. Yes, good. Azkia. Good. Uh, please turn on your camera. Okay, Zaki. Good. Beranger. Good. And Danin. Okay. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Good. So we wait for others to turn on the camera. Meanwhile, I would like to tell you that our myITS classroom is ready. Last week, actually, I informed that you can start submitting your work, right? And hopefully, if each one of you have submitted the work, because the due is just this morning at 8. So it was here. So if you check on, not this one, sorry. I need to switch to the other course. Give me a moment. On your myITS classroom, you should be able to see this. Interaksi manusia dan komputer I class. Click on this course. You will find this page. I assume that you had opened the page, otherwise you haven't yet uh, submitted your work. In case that you haven't yet submitted your work, do it ASAP, as soon as possible. There will be some penalty if you are late. Longer late, bigger penalty score. So it's supposed to be over here. Diskusi permasalahan. Yes. Oh, sorry. Something wrong with my date setting. I just realized this. My mistake. Wait, 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 wait. Silly mistake. Silly mistake. Where is that? Where is that? Over here. This should be March. Hopefully you didn't miss it, because I actually already mentioned during the previous session as well about this deadline. Oh gosh, this one should be March. I just realized there's something problem with me. So it's today. Submit the files. Good. The scan of your paperwork. Okay. Okay. Next thing I would like to mention is the next assignment, which is due on April, April 7th. Based on the article that you have reviewed, okay, the same article, extract the product, at least one, or just pick one. If there are multiple products mentioned in the article, just choose one. Or if it's the case, the product is just one, then that's good. Observe the product and then analyze its design principles. There are 6 design principles in total based on Don Norman's book. You can learn in detail from this page. Okay, you can click on here. Okay. Oh, no. This is the forum. To help you identify, maybe you want to list it now through this myITS Classroom Media, then you can use this forum. For the article, you can reflect on this online article, Design Principle in HCI. Left click on this link. Left click on this link. It will open a new page. And you will see 6 principles mentioned. Like, for example, this one. Or, oh, there are some versions. Perhaps, I'm sorry. I think you will need to reflect on the official PDF slides. I will present this today. This PDF slide. Check on this list. So there are 6 design principles or fundamental psychology of interactions. Primarily, you will need to at least analyze from these 3 perspectives: affordances, signifiers, and feedback. Optionally, you can also explore, if it is any, mappings, constraints, and conceptual models in the context of the product usage. I will also explain this today with some examples so you can get a bigger picture, a complete picture about these 6 fundamental psychologies of interaction, or 6 design principles based on Don Norman's book, The Design of Everyday Things. This is assignment number 2. Okay. So on top of the same article that you have reviewed, again, you will need to observe the product and analyze its design principles. Just follow these instructions, okay? And you may need to present the results in a document. I gave the template. You can download it from the assignment page here. Download this template. Okay, I will show you the template on the screen as well. In this template, you will need to register or to set the title with your product's name. And then don't forget to provide the document with your student ID as well as your full name. As an overview, you will need to remind me again about the article's title. So you mentioned the article's title, the product description, the URL. You can put the DOI again here, etc., to basically describe and explain the background about that product. Respectively, on the inside the affordances section, signifiers, feedback, and so on, you give the description, any of your findings here. In paragraphs, you can insert pictures as necessary. Okay. And then based on this document, you will need to record the contents. Based on that contents that you have written on the document, you can record a 5 minutes video, so you explain it verbally in English. And please show your face on the recording. You can use a Zoom meeting recording. I think that would do. As simple as that. And it's not necessary for you to edit the video like having After Effects, Adobe Animation, Premiere Pro, CapCut, etc. No, that's not necessary. But if you want to edit just one by just having subtitle, that would be appreciated. Otherwise, that's okay. Just recording a simple recording in 5 minutes or less about the contents in the document. If you think that the content is a lot, then just highlight some, because later me and the teaching assistant will still check the document for grading. Once the recording complete, upload it to your YouTube channel, make it unlisted, okay, or Google Drive or OneDrive, but please make sure that you give public or unlisted permissions to the file so we can view, me and the teaching assistant can view the video. Submit the PDF of the document and share the link text to this myITS classroom assignment. Okay, you have about 3 weeks to go to complete this assignment. Do you have any questions? Meanwhile, waiting for you, maybe you have any questions. I will wait. Let me mark your attendance so I have a clue here. Thank you. Who's next? Oh, Alpha. Alpha checked. Okay, you may uh confirm your verify your attendance marking on your own myTS presency. Let me know if you haven't yet marked, so I will mark it accordingly. Okay. Okay, I will mark your attendance, Hippolyte. I will help you, but please find a way to turn on your camera. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, good. Thank you, Hippolyte. Okay. Now, I will go with. Give me a moment. I will give you some moments. So before I start presenting my slides, I will give you some moment to read the article. Okay, maybe 10 minutes. So I will talk with you again in 8:30. Please check on my ITS classroom. Read these two article. The first one is this affordance signifier and feedback. Click on this link. Okay, check on this. And then the second article is this. Take your time to read the articles, and I will see you again in 8:30. May I ask, uh, among the audience, among the students participating in this meeting today, is there anybody was born in March? Can you raise your hand? No? All right. So let me pick here randomly. I need one, or maybe let me ask volunteer. You can respond voluntarily. I would like to have somebody help me explaining the definition, or what do you know so far based on the article that you've just read or from our discussion in the last meeting. What is affordance? Please. Askia.
Yes. So from what I read from the PowerPoints, affordance is the possibilities for action that an object or interface elements provides. Like, for example, a button affords clicking, a slider affords dragging. It's the emphasis of what users can do.
Good. The possibility of action. That's one highlight. Second things, just like what you have expressed on your last sentence, Askia, affordance is the what the users can do, right? What the users can do. Right, good, very good. Now, anybody else, or maybe Askia, can you help me appoint your classmates, one of your classmates?
Kinar, sir.
Kinar. Okay, your turn, Kinar. Can you give one other example, some example that is not mentioned on the slides, also the things that not yet mentioned, not mentioned by Askia? Affordance.
So from what I read, affordance is a relationship between an object and the action of the user or the person can take within the object. And for the example is like a smartphone or tablet
Afford- Mhm.
where you can pinch or slide that is the action of the user
Mm,
and the
mm.
object will like when you slide to the other page, they will go to the other page as well.
Okay.
And in the smartphone, there is a like the affordance that exists, but we doesn't really know because it's
Mhm,
like a little bit hiding. Like
mhm.
you can pitching when you want to zoom in the YouTube, right? That is also the affordance of the object and the actually person.
Good. Thank you very much, Kinar. So you specifically exemplify the screen, right? Part of the smartphone, the screen of the smartphone, and you explore the properties of the smartphone. You do not mention explicitly about, for example, the smartphone's surface should be slippery, right? It should not be rough. That's the properties of the object. And then as a result, users with their capability utilizing their tips of their fingers, right? They can do zoom in, zoom out. You mentioned about the YouTube that you can control through the multi-touch interaction. That's good. So having this interaction, multi-touch, that's the interaction, is because we understand there is some relationship between the capability of the agents in which users can utilize their fingers to pinch in, pinch out using two fingers, specifically the thumbs and this index fingers, right? And the properties of the object, which is the surface of the smartphone screens, slippery. So it affords such interaction, the multi-touch. That's affordance. Thank you very much. Now, you can pick, or sorry, appoint one of your friends.
Danindra.
Danindra. Danindra just, why me? Okay, Danindra,
Uh,
regarding the examples that's just being mentioned by Kinar about that smartphone screen, can you identify the signifiers in this respect?
so like signifiers on the smartphone screen.
With respect this multi-touch interaction.
I guess, for example, some phones have like a circle in the middle, so
Good.
they can go to the home screen, and they also specifically Androids, they have the like lines or the squares, so they can like choose tabs, and
Good.
also application buttons, specifically YouTube. So the YouTube application logo,
Good.
it looks like a video, like it's a red square with like the play
Good.
button. So I think that's
Very good.
a really good. Those are some good examples of signifiers.
Pretty accurate, Danin. Thank you very much. So when we talk about smartphone screen in particular, imagine that the screen is just off, is dark. I mean, nothing's there. I believe that you don't have any idea what would you do. You know that multi-touch can be applied to the screen, but you have no idea in which location, where should I do this multi-touch interaction, right? Or maybe just click the things on top of that screen. You will know that I need to click it on here, on there, pinching here or there, after knowing the graphics. Like for example, the line of the tabs and then icon of the application that you want to choose, that play logo with that red background on the YouTube's icon, so you know exactly where should you locate your finger to conduct the interaction. That graphical things are the signifiers. Good, very good one. All right, so I think that should be easy for me now to explain the rest of the materials. The slides that I will open is basically that. Oh, maybe I will continue with one extra question. So, Danen, can you appoint one of our international students, our international classmates?
Okay. Guess. Hippolyte.
Hippolyte. You're smiling. Okay, Hippolyte. So you follows this discussion, right? So we talk about the smartphone screen and some signifiers. Danendra mentioned about the YouTube, etc. Now my question is, how do we know when we click an app or when we multi-touch, pinching in, pinching out, doing that interaction, how do we know that our action is successful?
In that case of a mobile device, I
Mm-hmm.
think that we know because of the screen changes. I mean, when we zoom in, we see
Mm-hmm.
the screen changing back, so there is a feedback of the action that we are doing.
Good, good. You
That's,
just
that's
mentioned the
how we know.
keywords. Very good one. And then, oh, that's all. All right. So basically, the responses, we demand responses from any action that we do to any environment. And the smartphone screens or the smartphones itself just give that
Um,
appropriately. So when we click the YouTube icon, then there is an animation opening the window from that YouTube icon, opening some windows and generating that splash screen, right? So it means that the system, the smartphone, the appliance respond back to our action. Feedback, very good one, Hippolyte. Then that helps us to realize, to understand that the action is successful or not. And in addition to that, visual feedback, extra feedback may be found as well. Have you like maybe it's not happen that really often, but I think especially for the case of kids application, when you click or our games usually, when you click a button, there will be a sound, right? Sound effect, clicking, correct? And that's also part of the feedback, auditory feedback, visual feedback, auditory feedback, and maybe as necessary when you play serious game or not serious game, like many action game, for example, like Free Fire or Valorant or uh PUBG, you realize maybe in some moment when you are being hit, you feel what is that, like a vibration on the phone.
Roger.
Yes, vibration. So that's also part of feedback given by the system, and we call it haptic feedback or tactile feedback. All of those things helps us to realize, to understand that our success, our action is successful. Thank you, Hippolyte. Now I will continue with my slide. Give me some moment. So that's basically the thing that you will need to provide in assignment number 2, the primary one, affordance, signifiers, and feedback, but with respect to or regarding the product that is available in your article. Okay, so you need to give some examples. Okay, and based on that definition, hopefully that it should be fine now for you to elaborate. Let me play this and share my screen again. I start with yet another popular example in Indonesia. Uh, by the way, have you experienced riding a motorbike, Hyperlate, Clo, and
Yes, for me personally, I have.
so you have the
Because
or just become the passenger, or have you tried uh
no, riding
riding?
also, but not in Surabaya actually, in other parts of Indonesia.
Bali?
In Nusa Penida,
Oh, in Nusa Tenggara. So you went to Lombok.
uh, not Lombok, but Bali
Oh.
and then Nusa Penida.
Oh, Bali and Nusa Tenggara. Okay, good. So you have that experience. A very good one,
Uh,
Hippolyte. Maybe you can kind of reflect back on what you have experienced. I don't know whether it happens to you or not, but it happens a lot to us in Surabaya at least. And the culprit is the housewife usually that rides a motorcycle, and in many occasions they forgot to turn off the sign lamp. So like when you need to turn right, turn left, you need to turn on that lamp to indicate that you are going to turn.
Either.
And in many chances they forgot to turn off. And also the occasionally many riders, especially women, they forget not forget, when they want to turn right, they turn the left indicators instead. Misleading, and it's very dangerous, right? On the traffic, if you get wrong indicators light, your uh the vehicle at the in your at your back, or motorcycle or car will like suffer from some disaster, perhaps. I don't know, but so far it's still kind of understandable, because maybe it's like become the common mistakes. But now the things that I would like to discuss in here, I do not want to blame the women or anyone that forget to turn off the lamps, the lights. In fact, it turns out the problem is in the motorcycle's design. So when we talk about the motorcycle sign lamps, uh, this faulty design starts from the year 2000, year to Y2K, year 2000. So after millennia, there are some subtle change in the uh, dashboard design, motorcycles dashboard design, as well as the way, I may say that the signifiers on the dashboard has some problem. Let me go with the next slide so you will understand how did this happen. First, you may check on the left. This is the dashboard from motorcycles in the 90s. I took the example of Honda Astrea Grand. So in 1995, I think, or 1990, so around that years. And on the right side is my Honda Beat. It's a very popular scooter in Indonesia. Can you spot the difference, especially with the respect to the turning light, for the light turning indicator, right and left? Anybody can help? What do
Yeah,
you spot?
actually, I see what you mean. I had the same problem on the 1995 one. The two signifiers for the turning lights are separated, and
Yes.
when you turn right, for example, the one that is linked to the right button is lit up, but the left one isn't. Whereas on the newer model, there is only one. So when you turn either of the directions, it lit up, lights up, and you don't know whether you are turning right or left. So you actually have to look at the light to see if you are turning right or left, and it's kind of misleading.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you very much, Hippolyte. So you spotted correctly. So in the old design, the indicators are separated, and this is good for, especially for women, for female drivers, since if you take a look on the psychology course, one of the problems faced by humanity, especially in female case, is spatial awareness, and also not spatial awareness, mental rotation, perhaps mental rotation and mental rotation. Many female users even cannot differ, and in some moment when we ask them where is right, where is left, the sense of direction, they need to spend some time to grasp this in their brain. But it doesn't apply to like the whole. It's not general case, but many of female users facing these problems. Also, reading the maps. Reading the maps also is kind of a difficult for female users. So to help them, we need to make sure that the indicators should support uh correct or appropriate mapping. Now we talk about mapping. The fourth elements or fundamental psychology in interaction, mappings. If we want to turn right, then the light indicator should also give uh, the appropriate right indicators. That's quite important, to be honest. So having this new design is not really beneficial for those who have a difficulty in direction awareness, spatial direction. Good one. Do anybody else also spot additional problems with respect to this turning right, turning left indicators in addition to the mapping? Do you remember what is the light's color of the turning lights on your machine, on your back side or front side of the motorcycle? What is the color? The light's color. Is it green? No, it is not. What is that? Do you still remember?
Yellow, I think, sir.
It's yellow, Kinar. Thank you very much. It's yellow or orange. Yes, indeed. And it is not consistent. You see that? So the light indicators on the lamp, it's yellow. But why your indicators on the dashboard is green? It raises questions. And it's a problematic. By having this, people may like not deliberately. I mean, by some chances, they think perhaps the things that just light on is the echo indicator, right? Not the turning indicators. That's a problem. So it should be in the yellow if the light is in the indicator is yellow. Back then in the 90s dashboard, I'm sorry, the light is not lit in this illustration. You can try to find it on YouTube to find the demonstration of this dashboard. Perhaps you can find it. Astrea Green, Honda Astrea Green. Maybe I will put it on the meeting chat. So I believe the manufacturer should evaluate this dashboard to reduce the numbers of mistakes of that ma and not only ma actually I also experience quite often forget to turn off or not realizing that when I finish turning right, I forgot to turn off the light, etc. Or maybe when I turn left, the turning right from the previous moment not yet turn it off. So it's happened a lot of time. Additionally, color is done, mapping is done. Additionally, there's another problem with respect to feedback. Another fundamental psychology in interaction, the feedback. Did you notice when you ride, or maybe drive a car, if you drive a car, you've never forgot to turn off that signing lamp, that yes, one of the reasons there's some automatic mechanism in car when you finish completing the turn, it will automatically turn off the sign car. In addition to that, this is a very good one. This is what's so called, that's not part of feedback. Maybe kind of constraint, but not. I don't think so. But it's a good feature, but it's not part of interaction because it's automatic. But I talk about the auditory feedback. Have you realized when you turn on the turning light inside the car, you know that that light is on because that click, 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 click is very subtle, that auditory feedback. But why that auditory feedback is not there on the motorcycle? Oh, it is there actually, but it's not really that clear. Is it is that not do it is not clear due to two reasons. It is not that loud. If you compare actually, if you compare the new version of dashboard and the old one on the 90s, the sound or the auditory feedback in the 90s is more subtle. It's so clear. That's one of the reason. So there is a degrade quality of auditory feedback in the new version of a dashboard. The second reason why it is not clear due to the nature of our environment as a rider, in which different compared to the one when we become a car driver. When we are inside a car, the outside noise is not getting into the car, right? Especially when we close all the windows, right? So that voice is clear. But when you are riding a motorcycle, there are so much noise. So I believe there is no way for your ears to capture the sound from the dashboard when that voice emitted. That clicking sound is emitted from the dashboard. That's one of the reasons. So manufacturers should think additional way to emphasize or to amplify this auditory feedback. Otherwise, these mistakes will happen all the time. Maybe, for example, somebody should develop some headset, maybe, or the helmet should be equipped with some loudspeaker, giving everything, all that indicators on the dashboard transferred to the loudspeaker, so they will have that feedback, instant feedback, better feedback during the ride. That's one of the alternative way. It costs more, I believe, for having that extra feedback, but it's safer. It supports safety riding. And then another example, as a solution, in my opinion, manufacturer can develop, for example, haptic feedback on the motor steers. So imagine that when you turn right, there is a subtle vibration on the right steer. So they realize, oh, I'm uh, turning on the light turn. So when I want to have this vibration off, I need to turn off the light turn indicator as well. So that should work. So further research is necessary to basically solve these usability problems on a motorbike. You get the idea, hopefully. Do you have any question? You can also put the questions as necessary on the meeting chat if you want. I will read it later. So we have affordances, signifiers, feedback, and mapping examples already. Let me go with, sorry, mistype. It should be constraint. Extra S is necessary in here. Constraint. I gives you some example. Have you gone? Did you experience travel across Tunjungan Plaza Road, TP, Embong Malang, Jalan Embong Malang, or maybe just in on the pedestrian next to the city mayor's building? If you pay attention to some pedestrians, especially there, or maybe you can also find it somewhere else. Basically, you may find some pedestrian with extra sticks. Basically, that sticks is a constraint to forbid, or in my language back then, constraint can be in the form of anti-affordance. Okay, that sticks are basically to forbid motorcycles to enter the pedestrian road, right? So that constraint is important. Otherwise, you do not know in when do you need to stop, where you should not pass through your interaction. Another examples, just play with your mouse as a pointer now. If your laptop is not connected to any extended monitor, you will realize when you like moving your cursor upward and move it all the way up, you can do that. Your mouse will be stopped. There is some restriction constraint on top of the screen, right? So that's another example of constraint. So basically, you need to design, you need to have something to limit the user's interaction. And it's important. Otherwise, users will think that I can do anything. And of course, if we anything infinitely, and of course, in terms of infinity or eternity, it's not really into computational thinking or computational how the computers works. Computers has limited resources, and not only computers but also some physical products demand limited resources, so they need to define some constraint so that users will not surpass that constraint, in order also to avoid some unintended actions. So think about that. And there will be more constraint you may find in your surrounding. If you want to have other examples of constraints, or also maybe mapping and feedback, you can also ask the Zoom AI companion with in the meeting, in the Zoom AI companion feature. Go ahead and try it. Last but not least, the sixth element is conceptual model. This is the opposite of mental model. I'll explain about mental model later in the second half of our semester. Conceptual model anyway is like, in short, it's like just the way manufacturer or the producer or designer provide us with documentation. That is conceptual models. And the good conceptual models usually also available in visual. So let me go with the article. Hopefully that the article gives us some good example. Let me check it again if there's some good example of let me check. Oh, unfortunately, it's not in the two articles that we have just read. But let's search it together. Just Google it. Example of a conceptual model in HCI. Desktop metaphor is one of the examples of conceptual model. Other examples may include as well analogy, concepts, something. Basically, conceptual model is we need to develop some type of signifiers that is built based on users' previous knowledge or experience. Okay. Some more concrete conceptual models may also, do you know, does anybody here play Gunpla or Tamiya or something like that? So you construct the things, or maybe you have an experience constructing any furniture at home. So you will have that series of instruction, Gunpla instruction manuals, something like this, you know. By having this, this is also part of conceptual models, the example of conceptual models. So we understand how the users experience constructing the thing, so they need to have these arrows, numbers, names, etc. This is also part of conceptual models. So the way designers understand the users and manifest that understanding on the user manuals are the signifiers applied on the products, that is conceptual models. On the results of the Google search that we've just seen, I give the examples of desktop metaphor as one of the conceptual models. This example, desktop metaphor. So let me show another perspective. Maybe I need to stop this slide first. Or maybe desktop metaphor. Let's go specifically with desktop metaphor. Let me share it with you. The slide again. Not the slide, the browser. Okay. Images. Okay. I think this article is good. I just noticed. Oh, no. We need to go to the article. I just think I click this. Is it? So this is metaphor. We have a source domain mapping and we have a target domain. This is part of the way we implement a conceptual model. So source and target is necessary. In terms of desktop metaphor, let me do this. Okay, I'll start with this. On your desk right now, can you find, for example, books or paper or folder or pencil and many more things with respect to your productivity tools, calendar, memo, etc. Right? That's on top of your table. If you do not have them, then just imagine that way. And to be in fact, back to 1980, 1990, that years, if you want to be productive, you usually should be just literally on sit next to the desk, right? And you have everything on top of your desk, all of those things, including the letters you got from your friends, from your college, the pen, pencil, calendar, memo, clocks, etc. is on top of your desk. And then starting from 1990s, I think, the popularity of a graphical user interface is widespreading. Windows 3.1 and Windows 95 finally in the 1995 released. It gives like a new shift in a productivity paradigm. People move their works from physical paper to start to move many their work on physical papers to digital computer. Okay. In that shift, then designer develop all of those signifiers on the screen based on all of those productivity tools on top of the desk. That's why we call it desktop. That wallpaper, when you start your operating system, you got a desktop, right? So you should imagine that desktop is basically the surface of your table that you are working in your productivity time. All of those things, files, folders, are represented by symbols. Even the things that you do not have on the top of your desk, like the trash bin, when you want to throw or delete your work, is on the desktop as well. And back then, everything is designed with skeuomorphism in mind. I mentioned about this, right? Last week, that video. Still remember that? The video I played, Affordance and Signifier. So we have that skeuomorphism applied on many of icons in our software and operating system. So that's desktop metaphor is part of conceptual model. So the way you select appropriate symbols as a signifier on your product is through some previous understanding and previous knowledge experience as well from your users. So when the users face the software, face the product, they know what that symbol means. If they interact with that, it means, like, for example, if you double click on folder, it means that I open a folder. They know about that. So that's metaphor, and it's part of conceptual model. And you need to develop something that's basically out of the five design principles are usually fall into the conceptual model category. Something that is based on users' previous knowledge or experience. Do you have any questions? If it's not, maybe we can have a short break for 5 minutes. We will see you again on 9:15. We will actually dig deep into the metaphor again later in the second half of our semester when we talk about mental model and representation. So later we will go back to talk about this again. But the point of watching this video is to help us understand one of the example of conceptual model. Okay, one of the example of conceptual model, and hopefully you can grasp it. All right. Maybe I can end the session in at maximum 10 minutes. Let me share my slides again. To recap, affordance. Affordance, again, is the way we try to understand any possibility actions may occur on any object, okay, on any product. It is based on the relationship between a physical object and the capability of the properties of the physical object or the digital object, depends. We can use this concept in a physical or digital product, can work in both domains, and between the properties object and the capabilities of agent. uh I almost forgot this. In my opinion, this is quite important. So we talk about that motorbike rider, and I say that in terms of dashboard. Let me ask you one thing. When we ride a motorcycle, do we often look at the dashboard? No, you're right. At maximum, maybe just 20%. We need to look at our surrounding, especially in front of us, right? In front of the motorcycles more often. Otherwise, we got an accident. So we need to be aware of what in front of us, right? Correct? So in this case, when we talk about capability of agent, the rider, the human riding the motorcycle, particularly during this moment when they ride the motorcycle, they are not capable of seeing the dashboard. Pay attention to this. Even though we can do that as a rider, we can see on our dashboard. What we in uh majority of our time riding the motorbike, we will not stare at the dashboard all the time. This should help us to understand that there is some incomplete story about the dashboard as a product when we understand the agent, the riders, as seeing the dashboard. If yeah, we know that the riders have an eyes, so they are capable of seeing the things. But in that particular moment when they ride motorbike, they are not capable of seeing the dashboard. We need to understand. Maybe just 20%. Since it's a minimum, the moment is minimum, the time duration is minimum, then all of the dashboard items that we develop, we design should be aware of this issue. So that's quite important to understand. So that's why having that extra feedback, as I mentioned, in the helmet, inside the helmet, and also the vibration on the steer, on the motor steer, will help the users to captivate to captivate the feedback from the dashboard uh, perfectly. So it should not be with only visual, because the users, in terms of affordance, they are not capable of seeing the dashboard, but they are capable of feeling the steers when they are vibrating all time, and also hearing the things from the helmet all time. Next slides. To highlight again, so affordance is what actions are possible on the products, and signifiers is where is and how is specifically should the action take place. How should the action take place? The basic example, we talked about this already in the previous meeting. Door, for example, we can open it. This is part of the affordance. Actions are possible. Open the door, because the door is openable as a properties. It has hinge, it has a surface, it has a rotatable properties or attributes, and we as a human, we have hands or maybe even our feet to move to open the door. So we afford to open the door. That's affordance. The signifiers, on the other hand, we need to highlight more like the text, label, the icon, so that the users know in which specific location they need to put their hands to open the door. Ambiguous perceived affordance. This is one of the examples. The faucet, the knob of the faucet that we can usually find in the hotel's bathroom. You will find this a lot. So they usually, many hotels like uh, prefer to have a more artistic artifacts on their uh, properties or appliances, but forget about the usability. This is one of the examples. This is the good examples of clear signifiers that we have on our car dashboard. And I would like to share this with you. This is my personal favorite signifier inside the car, and perhaps some of you do not know. So this gas or this petrol gas station icon in here is usually with this arrow. This is very useful, guys. So later when you are in a gas station, you exactly know in which queue you should direct your car in. This means that the gas lid is on the left, so you know that you need to take the right cue in this case. Signifiers in GUI may consist of a word or text. It can also be in the form of a graphical illustration and some perceived affordance. Perceived affordance can be in like the shape, the constraint in this rectangle. So we know that the button is just limited to this constraint. That's a perceived affordance. And perceived affordance usually also based on our previous experience understanding the properties of the physical objects. And that's all from me. Do you have any questions? Otherwise, I will see you again next week. Please try to work on your assignment number 2. If you have any question, you can ask me next 2 weeks. Okay, next 2 weeks. Next week is a break. So next 2 weeks on March 31st, we will see you again. And we will talk about task and some design principles with respect to the task design. Thank you very much for having me today. Good morning. Assalamualaikum. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.